Hey, yep, it's me.
To the raid leader giving the epic trousers that drop from the boss to the person who drops their epic trousers for them in real life, flags! Flags. Nothing symbolizes your undying patriotism more than a rectangular piece of fabric gently queefing in the wind. As you know, all great game projects are based on hatred and revenge. Shigeru Miyamoto famously made Mario to piss off his dad. Before we rip into the how of changing the flag, let's have a quick dive into the why. Like your semen-soaked anime body pillow, here's where things start to turn sour. Starting with something I'm sure everyone can relate to. The Dantagonists, desperate for help in their war against Alex, twisted the narrative in their favour. Konami would often bundle powerful promo cards with Yu-Gi-Oh! Brand video games, guidebooks, and ride-on lawnmowers, all of which costed significantly more than your standard pack of cards. Romeo, Romeo, what's in a name? A Romeo by any other name would be fine. Or however that line went. Oh, you're wondering why Jed was fired? Well, all he did was... And today, we'll be exploring how brand Twitter and their perpetual quest to loosen quarters from that hole in the back of your jeans can come crashing down harder than the Hindenburg. Urine fries combo, available now only at Burger King.
All the good value.
The Channel Fudge is arguably the best console to find yourself with when stranded on an island, as the wood paneling is just enough kindling to start a small fire. It at least promised a flashy dystopian world, human augmentation, intense violence, and the ability to shoot women, a feature gamers had been requesting for years. Poles, the magical fruit, the bane of losers and brands alike. This trailer was introduced in spectacular fashion. At the very end of the Xbox presentation at E3, VP of Gaming at Microsoft, Phil Spencer, was assassinated live on stage. The name 4Kids is infamous amongst anime fans, second only to Sunlight and Talking to Girls Over 18. I was forced, against my will, to find a job after my stepdad refused to pay for my PlayStation Live subscription, so worked at Burger King until I had earned enough for a 1-year subscription, and then it never showed up again. The game itself is a town management simulator like Banished or RimWorld, except set on a space station in space, because it would be weird if it was a space station in Detroit. There are some sick individuals out there who hate Zelda so much that they are willing to spend thousands of hours in order to figure out how to get them over with as quickly as possible. Now let's say you're a YouTuber covering a brand new video game that just came out. Your car won't start, your dick don't work, and that university degree really isn't working out for you. And where was I going with that? Let's say you're creating a video on an iconic death scene from the game. Do you either A, title and thumbnail the video in such a way that if you know, you know, or B, plaster the character's dead body in the thumbnail and then put the character's name and death in the title, preferably in full caps. If you chose B, I'm afraid it's time for you to hand over your YouTube license and your victim card there, buddy. But there was something amiss. It turns out that the sort of people who come together to bully someone based on their appearance are not very nice people. The Legend of Zelda, the breath of the guy at the magic store. Apparently subjecting one employee to look at the sexual abuse of children all day is bad for their mental health. Clearly part of the snowflake generation.
Imagine you had a guy named Euthanasia Steve Pets at your dog, and then was surprised when you came home to find that he'd killed your dog with a hammer.
My girlfriend is not better than me at playing video games. Download this app right now, woman. I need to put you in your fucking place.
But that runner Torjay had a quick piss. I mean a fast wee. Ultimately, Gamers Rise Up got what it fucking deserved.
Thanks, Kudos.
His titles on Wikipedia include American con artist and convicted felon, which I suppose are only marginally worse than mine. Did the only logical thing. They threw a baldness festival around them. By gold. No, not the beautiful piss metal mined from God's green earth. I'm talking about the currency of RuneScape, gold pieces. It drew the ire of one of the last government bodies you would ever want to fuck with. The Italian Data Protection Authority. Bad Jungere. Bad Jungere. Downboard. With over 4,300 players attending to sling spells and hang dong. Festivals are a great way to celebrate music, culture, friendship, and sneaking drugs past sniffer dogs.
He's the angriest gamer who's a caveman you've ever heard. He's the friendly, pissed off, angry, crucified, blacklisted from Comic-Con video game caveman nerd. And he reviews it so you don't have to.
Picture, if you will, the year is 2007. You've just played World of Warcraft for 10 hours straight. The family computer is in the living room, so in order to jack off, you have to burn the image of a naked Princess Zelda into your brain, run to the bathroom, and quickly twist your little noodle. Afterwards, you settle down to laugh it up on funnyjunk.com. You have entered the meme zone.
On Fire System to the Group Finder feature to the in-game statistics screen, which meant that matches just sort of limply stopped. Hey Siri, you dribbling dick of a woman, you fucking dumb bitch, you stupid broad. Could you please roll a d20 for me? Second Wind found themselves with a massive chode-shaped hole in their roster. Now, while the only physical part of a Super Smash Bros. Tournament is how fast you can type out your twit longer after the grooming accusations come out.
Thanks, War Thunder. Everything is custom designed by us, local artists, and local Chinese sweatshops.
No, that's Goku. You're definitely thinking of Goku. Okay, that last one got a bit heavy, so let's take a quick breather and take a look at something a bit less depressing. The American justice system.
Fucking put my microphone on, but it doesn't fucking fit on the shirt that well.
In the end, lead designer Jay Wilson estimated that the Real Money auction house made between $10 to $15 million. Now, for a lot of game companies, that might sound like a lot, but for Blizzard, that's just their weekly breast milk budget. No, not that one. No, not that one either. No, not this one all the way. Like your mum at the cock and penis eating festival competition. Just the tip of the Dickberg. Corralling tens of thousands of sweaty humans who love nothing more than to eat, drink, shit and piss into a big loud field, and then making sure that they don't leave a bad review on Facebook or die is a logistical nightmare.
Double Dick Dawkins, a shining example of the American dream. Derek proves to us that with a little bit of cash, some elbow grease, and a can-do attitude, you too can create a subpar movie that gets endlessly ridiculed online. Slapstick humor? Chuck some fucking food in there.
RuneScape, or Runescape if you're 10-year-old me who thinks he knows better,
Was a subreddit dedicated to exactly what it says on the tin. Black beans. Oh, wait. Fat people hate tin.
The first two Flatout games are considered standouts in the genre of driving car fast cargo crash car fast crash cargo fast cargo crash.
And those Chinese motherfuckers are built.
了解详情请按
Push Ganon in front of an SUV. Clearly they forgot the legendary quote from Shigeru Miyamoto, designer and director of 1982's Popeye. A bad roller coaster tycoon game will be bad for a very long time. Maybe a year. But a good game, a Planet Coaster game, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Shit. Just realized I did an entire video on mobile game ads and I didn't mention Raid a single time. Well, while we're here, Raid Shadow.
Whoa! You fucking scared me, Donald. But at the time, Sega were the big boys, swinging their plump chili dogs in everyone's faces. Blizzard, you better add in dance studios. Roll!
Having no skin would suck, and science has yet to prove whether or not our skin stays on without the help of Geology's amazing skincare products.
Of course, capitalism groans on no matter how many grandmas are getting turned into worms.
Alright, I'm going to tap one mountain to cast lightning bolt on your Manykudos. Unfortunately for Mills, his thought sponge just wasn't wired that way. I know I should quit. I've tried going cold turkey, but I'm more of a ham guy.
Ah, Lord Sakai, the Mongols at the camp to the north kicked me in the balls. Oh, please avenge my swollen nuts.
Your testicles will be important for rebuilding our population once the Mongols are taken care of. I will see that justice is dealt. I also don't know if this impression is racist or not.
Collapse.
Whoa, free cue.
They filled up faster than your mum at a Taco Tuesday orgy.
To when computer monitors had ears and could kill a man when dropped from a second-story balcony.
But in 2020, Uri wrote to Tsunekazu Ishihara, the CEO of the Pokemon Company, asking to lift the ban on Kadabra. Ishihara responded, saying, "Oh yep, righto, good as gold. Cheers, mate." Shit, look at this nice letterhead. As you can see where all the budget's gone lately.
Coming in hot with one of the most controversial subs. Oh, no, I didn't mean hot like that.
Whether it was a beautiful LED orb or the power of wanting to fuck your own mum.
Great job, Sherlock Holmes alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you this evening with grave news. Unfortunately, Mick and Mac, as the global gladiators for the Sega Genesis, has gone woke.
Unlike other games that lazily flop their thick, juicy bosses onto the face that is the game's open world. Again, Josh, thank you so much for coming on the channel.
Well, I mean, it's this or spend effort making content. And this seems like a much easier way to spend my time now.
Before we go, I actually wrote you a small song to say thanks. Josh. Arriving at their Cambridge office late at night.
Perhaps they saw it as charity for the mentally unwell, which would technically make this tax deductible.
Hey, buddy. You right down there? You a little sleepy? Huh? We get your coffee? Little cup of Joe? Little cup of Joseph? Little cup of Joseph from a little sleepy guy? Huh?
And to quote a wise man, at least now they can say that the Reddit admins have fucked them. Regardless of your preference, one thing's for certain, that spoilers are still the best way to...
Hamburger give toy. Wonder hamburger give video game instead. This video on that.
These disclaimers are because John forgot to say happy birthday to his mum last year, and she took it really bad.
Famed magnet researchers the Insane Clown Posse on Reddit. Writing is one of the many forms of art. Or at least I tell myself that while I'm trying to come up with a new way to write penis. Today I'm feeling the chokeable chipolata. Final Fantasy, the series that constantly defies its own name in order to tell as many stories as they can about spiky-haired babies stabbing God. Equally famous for its contributions to both gaming and hentai.
Disconnecting from a match once drops you from good standing to caution, and doing so again before getting back up. I ain't reading this shit.
Let's take a step back. The only thing it was capable of rendering were 3 dots and a vertical line on the screen, but give them a break. It was the 70s, they hadn't even heard of jiggle physics yet. Now I know what you're thinking. Where does all that money come from? At American Air, I'm going to blow up a plane if I don't get $50,000 cash. Still treated it as a real disease because it was killing something arguably more important than their lives. Fun. Meanwhile, Burger King Tea and Crumpets decided to go, okay, I'm finally ready. Here goes nothing. Oh, hey, I'm Austin. My subreddit's a... This has meant Final Fantasy XIV's RP fans are just as likely to act out brandishing their sword and shield while they charge headfirst into danger, as they are to act out brandishing their cock and balls while they charge headfirst into danger. Perhaps gamers will finally learn to never look up to or trust anyone or anything ever again. like rolling a boulder with an erection down a hill. Mario Kart 64, the 64th entry in the Mario Kart franchise, finally answered the question, what if Mario could legally drive without glasses? Unfortunately, your time is almost up, Mr. Blonde. Because I used the link in the description from my favorite YouTuber, Manykudos, I was able to get a private internet access subscription for less than $3 a month, with an extra 3 months for free. While removing guns from a show for American audiences is like removing giant deadly spiders from a show for Australian audiences, no more are you dipshit Dan, general loser and guy who pissed himself during class when he was 9, but Hot Rocks 92, Reddit mod, owner of a successful meme page on Facebook, and the guy who pissed himself in class when he was 9. We didn't forget Dan. Very plausible allegations, dripping with suspicion sauce and wrapped in charbroiled coincidence, but allegations nonetheless. Of course, the less said about Jim, the better.
Eat his ass.
Voted!
You did it! Great job. This news was especially cringe for Tom and Bob, who had already started punching 500 holes for portable toilets at their initial planned location, the Chandler Raceway. Well, not them personally, but you know what I mean. Oh, how I wish we could return to a time when telling neo-Nazis to fuck off was an uncontroversial statement. In order to develop the game, Blizzard teamed up with Chinese addiction developer NetEase, in the same way that bikie gangs team up with Chinese fentanyl distributors. Now, you might be scratching your forehead and picking your foreskin.
First of all, congratulations, Mr. Derek Savage.
Hello, I like money.
How come you were fine with Adam's review, even though it was pretty critical of your film?
Money!
And that nobody at Bethesda even knows what a breast looks like. They also came with a set of human-sized clip-on earrings for you to wear or eat. This creature is the world's most popular doll and one of its most popular toys next to Behead Me Alma. Next, you need obsidian to make a trip to the Nether, a hell-like realm of suffering and despair modelled after Melbourne's public transport system. Server after server saw valiant knights charge into battle against the Sleeper, glory in their eyes and their chests swelling with pride at the thought of being the first to kill the unkillable, moments before being mutilated faster than a Chinese steelworker on Lively. Their Reddit army.
Sorry much of a lighthouse without a light, is it? It's more of just a house. If you could afford to pitch in, I could really use your help to fix it.
Leaving a trail of death and destruction, and at least one player who came back from a piss to discover his character's dead. Fuck that loser. The rules book went from the 300-page long Warhammer Fantasy brick that you could use to kill most rodents to a rulebook shorter than a Chinese takeaway menu that would leave most rodents unscathed and laughing at your ineffective bludgeon. The rave gear of guys who like men's rares for Dream Trap's children. Overwatch started out as a polished piece of plastic shaded passion and topped the lists of most played games and most searched terms on adult video sites. But hey, I'm all for sloppy seconds.
Back in 2022, Logan Paul, head of the extremist terrorist group known as the Low Gang,
where we pull up an ice cold popcorn and some freshly popped soda and explore the dramas that grip the world's fandoms. Today we're cracking some packs, tapping some lands, and desperately trying to ignore the fact that our opponent smells like roast beef.
the game, which was probably one of the most anticipated things next to GTA 6 or the sequel to Women.
Since the invention of the internet by Mr. Gerald H. Internet,
CDPR took to Twitter to announce that they had been a victim of a digital version of the JFK assassination, where they were JFK and the bullet was a ransomware attack, and the brains on Jackie Kennedy's dress were the hopes that players had of Cyberpunk being good anytime soon. And the governor of Texas was the data from the staff, the leaked personal data from the staff. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So they could erect a cement and barbed wire wall, along with a wizard tower and a few spring traps. Some retailers chose to censor the doll's image on the box using stickers out of fear of another ritual mass castration.
I don't know what the funny image is, but when it says
that when the picture of the Iron Man says, "This is funny," I laugh because he's a funny man in the Iron movie.
Now, some of you out there might be wondering, what the Ahoy there, sailor! You look like you're in the market for a new game to play. Who are you? Name's Frank Tucker. At your service, m'lady. Of course, we can't all blame E.T., but I wish we could. God, I hate his fucking stupid, disgusting puppet face. Ironically, ever since the first angel investor mistook undiagnosed ADHD as auteur brilliance, Silicon Valley startups have thrived. After taking turns making out with it, they set the effigy on fire so that it couldn't tell a soul.
Bitch boy Bobby Kotick himself.
Can't talk long, I'm playing MC Kids. Way wildest game ever. I should know. Me, Darren Bartlett invented it. That's MCs in major, cool, mega challenging, mondo crazy. As in the MC Kids, Mick and Matt. Two cool dudes I mind warped into McDonald land. Who turned the whole place upside down. This is totally upside down, that's kind of...
The most common remedy was to suck shit. They've graciously invited me to their infamous flesh room, of which there's no entrance or exit.
And Mongolian Jesus. Oh, Jesus worked on this one. I was wondering what he'd been up to since the cave.
From fast wheeze to the Chinese. These legal troubles ultimately spelled the end of Bonzi Buddy, and he was later found murdered with a brick in an Arby's bathroom. What if you tried to solve not getting laid by not getting laid even harder?
Kudos, can you add like a little sound effect when we...
This is the dark, stupid history of virtual friends. What the hell was that? I mean, a dead rat in a gutter would have outsold the GameCube.
Yes, there's a whole bunch of enjoyment and excitement, and it's just around that corner there. No, you can't see or hear it, but it's there.
Boy, what did I tell you about leaving your pig grease by daddy's gaming device?
Because otherwise my dentist sends me death threats. In the late 90s and early 2000s, home PCs were starting to explode. Except not really, because then nobody would want one.
Pure corporate warfare.
Like an unwanted baby in a pro-life state, Tay was only alive for 16 hours before Microsoft shot her out of a cannon and scrambled to make an apology. Statistically, at least one person learnt about 9/11 from Bonzi Buddy.
And now, for today's topic.
Fucking make Nawe Mexican, who gives a shit?
And maybe you should just not follow MTV on Facebook, you little gorgonzola. You little gorgonzola wheel rolling down a hill, being chased by a bunch of Scottish men.
Please welcome to the stage 4-time McDonald's Monopoly Instant winner, Manykudos.
Is he thinking about Baby Shark again? Nah, that's it. I want a divorce.
If you're anything like me, you're a big fiddler. Speedrun newly released content for bragging rights over who can get through the most adult diapers in one sitting. This only solved the problem for unborn future Xboxes, but did nothing for the millions of defective consoles that had illegally crossed the Mexican border, taking jobs from hard-working, reliable consoles. The Genesis does what Nintendo doesn't quite have the capability of doing.
Get out of here! Put you in the bin!
In order to make it up to players, Blizzard announced that these story missions would cost $15 to play. No, wait, sorry. I meant to say, in order for Bobby to make a down payment on a new yacht, these story missions would cost $15 to play. Part-time owner-operator of a real penis.
Nice.
The Pokemania of the 90s was the tits, and not just any tits, but two hearty sambucas being rested gently on your forehead. He's been tweaking that little yellow nipple longer than some of you have been alive, while Kirafim was knocking out an exceptional 1400, which is almost 500 times as much if you do the maths wrong. Hacking out the silly rules like a goofy tumour. One of the most popular Magic formats is Draft, where a group of players all crack open a number of packs, take one card and pass the rest to the next player, do the hokey pokey and turn it all around. I'm an atheist-leaning agnostic with a huge penis and tiny balls. The devil shivers when a gamer rages. and he had no shortage of enraged gamers to quiver over today. You were then thrown dick first into a queue.
Yeah, so here's where the thieves broke in. As you can see, lock doesn't really, kind of pretty easy to break in, actually. Surprising more stuff wasn't stolen. All the money I keep under my bed because I don't believe in banks. And here's my address.
But of course, it only takes one person to pull the trigger for all hell to break loose. Which would be like getting a Dungeons & Dragons player in to explain to the jury where to find the clitoris. It's here, by the way. Have you ever wanted to be a YouTuber? What about being an animator? Or how about just learning to cook better? Over half a year after Overwatch 2's release, Blizzard bops a drum shell on the community. Hello, I'm White Morpheus. Welcome to the Construct Room. From the only NordVPN Matrix parody ad on YouTube. Imagine for a second that Roblox was banned in Guatemala. And imagine that you didn't have NordVPN to get around it. No problem, you might think. I don't live in Guatemala. The next thing you know, Football Manager 2005 is banned in China. You still don't have NordVPN. But I don't live in China, you might think to yourself. You think you're safe. You think, I don't need 5,200 of the fastest VPN servers in 60 different countries. That my country would never restrict access to my favorite games and TV shows. Next thing you know, Weed Mod for Minecraft is banned in Australia. You take the red pill and click the link in the description. You receive a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee on a NordVPN subscription. You take the blue pill. GamerSupps isn't like those other energy drink brands. For example, they don't care if I just suddenly end a Super Smash Bros. Diss track. An unholy set of 5 words that shouldn't work, but somehow do.
Of course, all of this begs the question, will this video get taken down as well? I don't know, Derek. How about you fucking try me, cunt? This is the life.
Now, in a perfect world, where globules of internet flow freely like grapes bouncing off the cleavage of a buxom wench, nobody would care. But this is not the world we live in. As much as I've tried. Content creators and Diablo fans lined up to kick Diablo Immortal in the head out the back of a pub in New Hampshire at 2 AM. Much like a real pregnancy, Midge's belly could be removed in order to harvest the juicy baby inside. And surprise, it's a girl. Or maybe it's a boy. The Barbie universe has yet to explain how genitals work. Look, Mum, I'm a real YouTuber now. A tip of the fedora and an upvote for you, kind sir.
Unrelated, but how about you pick yourself up a brand new cool cat saves the house. Cool cat saves the
Well, let's head to the context dimension. Context dimension.
Cardboard crack, wizard poker, or solitaire for the sexually impaired. Games Workshop saw this and went, fuck that, stapling an update of their IP guidelines to the foreheads of their passionate fan base before rolling them down a flight of stairs.
For years I've been training to be an elite hacker. A deadly game of cat and mouse, where combatants don't battle with blades, but with words. And like semicolons and brackets and shit.
Dungeons and Dungeons and Dungeons and Dragons, also known as D&D, and D and D.
This is where a hapless fool working at the target company is used and abused, like your mother on $2 Tuesdays at the hooker drive-thru.
They saw Twitter are full of people, so we are to be people as also.
So congratulations Glastonbury 2005, come up and accept your award. It's a $19 McDonald's gift card. It says 25 on there, but I got some hash browns on the way here. Sorry. No speeches. Get the fuck off the stage.
As everybody knows, teenagers are highly influenced by the moral guidance of the government, and so sales of the game dwindled once their righteous leaders deemed it unfit for the community.
A god amongst mortals. William Hout. Pokemon was everything I watched, played, collected, and got into strange white vans for.
Ew! Christ, what the fuck, James?
So now we're going to be going back in time to look at some of the most popular formats and dunk on them in the... I'm you from the future. Whatever you're doing, you cannot go through with this bit. What? How come? Because it's going to be really hard to sync up in editing. Wow. You're right.
Bethesda games are known for three things. Their bugs, and their mod support.
Suicide Forest, Japanese Suicide Forest. Logan Paul made a fucking vlog where he filmed the corpse of a man who had taken his own life. And crypto scams. Power to you, you crazy bastard.
Symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning can include fatigue, headaches, watching Manykudos videos, and mental confusion. Really makes my brain feel smoother than a chicken fillet.
Thanks for coming back. If this is your first video, then congratulations, you have found my second video. Unless this comes up third or beyond, in which case, fuck me, I guess.
Sorry, editor, I didn't really think this one through.
What have you done with your life?
This one's for the gamers, for the dreamers, for the players who dare to dream bigger and jump higher, for the grinders who refuse to quit on a loss, for the guys who love to drink breast milk. A new generation of athletes are showing us that anything is possible, and that they all love to drink breast milk. They don't care whose it is, and they definitely don't care if they're drinking it instead of freeloading babies. Because at the end of the day, we're all just one big baby. A big baby who wants to prove to the world what they're made of. Breast milk is here, and it isn't going anywhere. But if you can't find breast milk, try Gamer Subs.
So I printed them on the finest t-shirtiest fabric, featuring all your favorite characters. Deez, nuts. Joe, mama. Bofa, Deez, nuts. And Sagondi's, nuts for the third time. The assumption, it seems, is that Barbie's slender figure and lack of wrinkles means her age starts with a 1 and ends with a 15-year sentence for Jared Fogle. Of course, that would make her the most overachieving teenager of all time, with a list of professions rivaled only by Homer Simpson.
For whatever reason, they fucking hate Jordan.
Now, unless a small green man ran into your house at night and turned your computer on, which I swear has fucking happened to me, okay, like at least twice. With enough dice to crush a small dog. A simple but brilliant concept that appeals to everyone, from artists to tabletop gamers, to the guy who's a little bit too infatuated with the German army from World War II for it to just be an interest in history. On Saturday, March 7th, 2020, after years of persecution by Chad, Stacy, and microtransactions, gamers finally rose up before being forced to swallow the biggest, reddest pill of all. We really do live in a society.
Unless I'm just some kind of smooth-brained individual. And Herb Cole, who sounds like a fucking Star Wars character.
It's like you're learning. Fun if you like to learn about history, but unfortunately, I'm here to stab people in the mouth. Ghost of Tsushima is the kind of game that makes you want to suck off a man in an Arby's bathroom. These powers range from using his mind to free the Ever Given from the Suez Canal, to psychically influencing soccer matches for at least 26 years. When Venezuela's president accidentally tripped over the big red power cable in his office, plunging the country into widespread blackouts. Spoiler alert, this video doesn't end well for me. Ah, shit, that's hot.
Imagine going like McDonald's and there's a guy in the corner like, "Hey kid, you want some Burger King?"
Hey kids, it's me, 1988's Donald Land. Do I make you want to eat a hamburger, kids?
The only homebrew solution that actually managed to fix the red ring of death was posted by the YouTuber How To Basic, but even this required a lot of equipment and know-how and wasn't doable for most users.
Paparazzi will be tracking their every move, like me tracking my Domino's pizza order. Wow, that's funny! Pizza's so funny, isn't it?
War Thunder?
These are ordered mostly chronologically, as it shows how Reddit has learned from the previous one and tightened up as a result, unlike your mother.
Meaning a child in the 2 to 4 age bracket could clock into their shift at the grooming factory easier than ever, featuring sultry curves that made it the first fuckable console.
Because early access is a double-edged sword. But the problem with double-edged swords is there's no hilt, so there's nothing to hold on to, and you'll just end up hurting yourself.
Geology creates simple and effective skincare routines for you. Just you, Robert. There's so much about Zelda that just makes me want to bust a Deku nut.
By like a shitload of mosquitoes last night. They really just went to town on me, like your mum at the Pizza Hut dessert buffet bar. Or like your mum on my... What's the video about again?
Hotcake hand jobs. I didn't buy Rooftop Running Simulator just to sign a 3-month lease on an exciting bush.
Factor.
In a game full of magic, wizards and dragons, allows you to live out the most unrealistic fantasy of all. Home ownership. Like a reverse Jared Fogle, he was allegedly mobbed by hundreds of children.
Which is like escaping Epstein's Island on a boat owned by Jared Fogle.
It's called a PlayStation. It's an electronic gaming computer device that's shot to the top of every kid's Christmas list. But many parents are reporting that these gaming machines appear to be infested or possibly run by bees. Here's John with the report.
Time to reach deep down inside, take all that negative energy and let that shit out of your fucking system. Well, it's time to take all that negative energy, put it the fuck out. Okay? Square Penix came down on them like a sack of Final Fantasy themed bricks. At least there were probably no feces in it this time. Harold McNeil has also been accused of playing Invoke Prejudice in real life, if you get my drift. But browsing his public Facebook page made me realise he's guilty of an arguably worse crime. Self-quoting. I mean, come on. What the fuck? If you thought this rivalry was nuts, check out this story about players versus developers.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, man.
So what was your plan? I want a guy to tile my bathroom. I thought you would come with some equipment.
I already thought you'd have the equipment. I thought I just had to show up and do it.
That's not how it kind of doesn't normally work like that. Like, you buy a tiler on fucking Airtasker, they bring equipment to put tiles.
You should have said that in the ad.
I said I want a tile.
I hope you're ready to end up on r/watch people die subreddit.
Error 37. Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to go into a similar bug, error number 34. So look up Diablo Rule 34 if you want more on that.
Now, it might seem like I'm stalling because I don't know how to end this video, but that's not true. What I'm actually doing is...
Alright gentlemen, I know we're all very excited to participate in today's card tournament, but I just got word from upstairs that we gotta watch this edutainment video first, so eyes up here, not on your cards, huh?
You might have noticed that your body is going through some changes. This is a process called puberty.
The Magic Grand Prix.
Hair will start to grow in weird places. The best way to combat this is with a little bit of help from our friends over at Manscaped.
Here's what I like to call peculiar entities notice. It's suspicious. Or penis for short. Not that I know what a short... So, how do you follow up a series of children's books and a feature-length film aimed at kids? The answer is simple. A marijuana-themed movie and music award ceremony.
Bethesda. Just the name alone evokes feelings of epic quests, grand worlds, and Wayne Gretzky hockey. Now terrified about a rogue post-it poltergeist posting post-its posthumously, 4chan users were disgusted at the idea of someone having to eat Burger King. To say that Warhammer fans were outraged would be an understatement, with entire regiments of them flanking the information superhighway to announce their disgust in civil, respectful ways. And setting their armies on fire in protest. So a Magic player gets banned for cheating. Big whoop. Does the Pope neglect decades of pedophilia? Tabletop RPGs are apparently quite common in the Slammer and serve much the same purpose as they do on the outside. Bringing together friends to share in a common story and overcoming adversity using teamwork and not trying to pickpocket my fucking character every chance they get, Steve. Our top story tonight. Child won't play game, no go school. Child won't play Game No Go School instead.
Yeah, whoever just took LSD, everyone who just took LSD, it's been laced with rat poison, and the Shadow Man you see is going to kill you. I repeat, the Shadow Man you see is going to kill you. Please remain calm.
For reasons that modern science can't explain, many women don't feel comfortable in the competitive gaming scene, where Tiberius is the main character and gets loads of chicks and is super cool and has all the powers of Sonic but is more powerful than Sonic, and but they're also best friends. And
go fuck yourself. Get fucked.
And you don't even want to know what they were trying to cook. Oh, wait. Yeah, I guess you do. Sorry. Remember those catering trucks that were looted? They're on fire now. And their gas tanks exploded. Man has always found companionship in the weirdest of places. Animals, volleyballs, women. This problem, once ominously looming in the distance, like a Twitch streamer standing across the road from a middle school.
Around 200 Costco hot dogs in today's currency.
How does a man whose job that seems to be taking L's in court manage to afford all of these expensive lawyers and fancy bendable spoons? The answer is luck. And gullibility. Both eyes and both testicles, despite having lost them in a previous scene when he tripped over and banged them off on a doorknob. When it came time for the award ceremony, all hell broke loose. Well, okay, more like a small quiet portion of hell broke loose, where they send people who don't subscribe to YouTube channels that they like. I mean, you think Elon Musk is annoying on American Twitter, wait till you see how annoying Japanese Elon Musk is. Since the dawn of time, primitive man has been drawn to list videos for their basic structure and arbitrary ordering system. Oh, top 10 rock. The top 10 epic trebuchet moments. With modern advances in video sharing services, watching list videos has become easier than ever. You're watching Watch Mojo's Top 10 Al-Qaeda group members. Number 10. One question still plagues the scientific community, however. What is the correlation between people who watch list videos and having a micropenis? Another year passed, and players had still not found a legitimate means of defeating abhorrent vagina. Sorry. There are several Pokemon who reference real-life people, such as Hitmonchan referencing Chris Chan, or Hitmonlee referencing Lee Harvey Oswald.
Sorry. I'm real sorry, mister. Mister, I'm real sorry about you getting the death threats. It's a real shame.
If a well-constructed narrative is like a powerful iceberg, then spoilers are like the Titanic, carelessly crashing into the iceberg and ruining it for all the penguins on board.
Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. Now, while the link between being a violent baby and owning gun for the original Xbox are tenuous at best, if it wasn't obvious, Dylan is a born-again Christian, which is totally fine. I just, prefer if he kept that behind closed doors and away from children.
With the IQ now rendered useless for a majority of the most popular speedruns, it fell out of the limelight and was later found dead after a fatal overdose in their Calabasas mansion.
Clearly lacking the raw power of unregistered Hypercurrent 2.
Manykudos. I want to play a game.
I knew I shouldn't have installed that television.
You indulge in life's cravings too often. Now you'll have to prove you can survive without them. If you can go 24 hours without a single bad habit, you can leave. Or you get a $50 gift card.
Nice try.
So it should come as no spoiler that today we're going to be talking about why incest should be legal.
While you can't recognize anyone in the images unless you're overly familiar with a certain someone's anal crevasse, filling out a questionnaire about your skin and what needs improving, they hire a guy off Craigslist to sneak into your house at night and stock your cabinets full of the perfect skincare products just for you.
Hey, sorry mate, hope you can hear me. I'm in another room. So at this point in the game, Jim wants to, shit, there's a bloody bee in here. Yeah, sorry, just reading the guide. So Jim wants to, oh shit, he's bloody coming for me. Fuck!
in the same way that I slap down my monster hog on the table when it's time for business. I've got Modern Warfare Warzone. What are some good setups? I romp with a fully kitted
M4A1 kitted out with an X50. I have chains, so we get down range, press 5.
Packet of Doritos on one side, massive Monster Energy on the other. Gunner optics on, gamer chair recline, game mode activated. There's no better setup. This is living.
This guy's done goofed. I'm backtracing his IP address and... Wait, what's this? It says his IP address is on the moon. A subnetwork of maker studios that specialized in creating content primarily for the YouTube gaming market, or virgins, Sir John Key was, by most metrics, a successful politician. With New Zealand lacking term limits, he led the country as Prime Minister and leader of the centre-right National Party for 3 terms. Twitter's social media managers are beginning to experience... Now, if you're watching my channel, you're clearly a gamer of the highest caliber, and as such, are terrified of showering. Just name it Big Wet or something instead. This is all good stuff, and I agree with it. But the next person who calls me Brian is getting stabbed. 5 times the regular retail price. But as we saw during those wars we held a few years back, the Germans came dangerously close to winning. The other prince escaped years ago. Unfortunately, I'm one of the 2 out of 3 men who have suffered from male pattern baldness before the age of 35. Hey Rapunzel mate, you coming down? So there's no chance my current hair will get me out of this tower. Mirror, mirror over there, however do I dare to solve this problem of my, balding? Hi, and it ain't squishing. Turning it into a sort of anonymous virtual message board, much like the one in Animal Crossing that you use to call Tom Nook a pedophile. Keanu Reeves, internet messiah and all-around person.
Hello, Toms. Ideally, I would have loved to remain king of this beautiful King Tom. I never intended for there to be a war. Consider this my formal resignation and disbandment of our kingdom. Thank you all for the good times, former King Thomas.
TRO, what does it even stand for? The wrong opinion? Yeah, and Kappa Kaiju, with a name like that, what bloody country do you think you're in, mate? Here in Australia, we speak American. These workplace harassment cases in the making. DDoSing is short for distributed denial of service and basically involves overloading someone's internet connection with so much traffic that it has to step outside for a quick smoke to calm down, disconnecting them from the service in the meantime. But as the Rice Man would say, with great power comes great responsibility. Sorry, I'm getting a breaking news report right now. This just in. Wang. I need you to just focus on music, Will. Whoa! This back and forth continued until Dan got sick of the constant game of Cat Mario and Mouser. Of the game of cat and mouse. Sorry. While Super Mario 64 was a sick experiment to see how few polygons they could render poor Mario in. Hi, I'm Mike Hawk, founder of Manykudos Inc. And today, we're excited to finally announce the launch of our first product. Introducing Objects. Objects. It's a... Oh, piss, what is it actually doing? Look, the packaging's nice and it's got Bluetooth. And, we made an app that does... His blindfold must have more holes in it than a piece of Swiss cheese in an American high school. Flocked to Silicon Valley in the hopes of becoming the next Steve Jobs, minus the cancer. At the time, he was around 21 years old and realized that all of his well-mates were going off to college or starting families, and all he had was the reputation for being the biggest asshole on the server. Which is admittedly a bit more impressive than having a kid. The satisfactory release allowed them to chase a squeakquel, the bizarrely titled The Witcher 2, which released to critical praise and critical pain. Because nobody wants to spend $400 on a watch that'll update your mum every time you're cranking out a Wango smoothie. Following The Witcher 2, CDPR was to be completely self-published, affording them the ability to take their time, finally craft quality experiences, and try risky endeavors like releasing a game as a buggy, unplayable mess. Oh shit! You can sleep easy, knowing that you've already done your good deed for the day. Sorry, buddy. I'm gonna have to downvote this one.
Too easy. Thanks to Tab for a Cause, I was able to spread misinformation on Twitter, and I feel great.
Thanks to Tab for a Cause, I was able to look up guilt-free.
The Magnavox Odyssey is powered by an affordable 6 huge fuck-off batteries. From the very second you open Warframe.exe, you... In the Japanese dub, they would simply fall to their deaths. But in the English dub, they would fall into portals to the Shadow Realm? Makes you wonder why they spent all that time and money to reanimate the scenes with the guns when they could have just had the characters say they were shooting Shadow Realm bullets. All of my cloned henchmen can get in on the action. Giving her a half-hearted apology and stating that he marched with the woman in the 70s with flowers in his hair. But wait a second. This allows you to replace one section where you run badly, like after the Boston Marathon, with one part where you run good, like before the Boston Marathon. Yep, that's not making it in. What is your platform of choice? That's like asking a captain which plank of wood on his ship is his favourite plank of wood. I am a master gamer, having conquered all systems like a modern-day Alexander the Great at video games. This ergonomic cinder block being penetrated by a logger salami, and you felt like a fancy wee lad by buying boutique. Yandere Dev, also known as Alex Mahan, was released in 1988, 6 years after his announcement in 1982. Think again, Mr. Blonde. That 24/7 customer support means I'm protected around the clock. Manykudos would continue his long tradition of not knowing how to end a video. The setting, Las Vegas' 2015 Grand Prix Pro Tournament. The player, Pascal Maynard. My pants, shitted.
Now, let's just say you've been hired to act as the voice of Steakums, a brand of thinly sliced beef. Which personality do you think best represents your company? Do you take the tone of A, Steaky Steve, the partially digested cow, B, your slightly racist uncle who keeps bringing up politics at the dinner table, or C, a nihilistic millennial who's worried about their job prospects?
These days, children can hop on their parents' iPad and watch all the Keemstar or full HD ISIS beheading videos they want. Dickweed Dan's amazing main character syndrome adventure, starring all these assholes who take forever to do their turns when I could be playing instead. As a result, the books were consumed by the orb. Raycons come with a selection of gel tips so you can find the perfect fit for your ear. I can promise you they will not fall out either, no matter what strenuous activity you put them through. Because of this, Raycons are significantly harder for your friends to suck out of your ears compared to other earbuds. Why are we even here? What's the point of anything? A common tactic is to stab Endermen with a box cutter, grab them by the ender pearls, and then use these pearls to climb towers.
Wait a second. This isn't Michael Jackson, this is, I don't know, Mike, son of Jack, maybe? This isn't Michael Jackson, McDonald. You can't fucking do this, man. I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you right now, you can't go out shilling shit like this. You had all of us fucking going. Every single person watching this video thought they were going to see the real Michael Jackson singing a McDonald's song, and look what you did. You made me look like a dingus, and you made my viewers especially look like real idiots, because they all thought the same thing.
What, you're just going to finish the story mode and then move on to another game? Like a fucking weirdo? They were the lucky ones. Bethesda invested millions of dollars into discovering colours other than brown and brown grey. M-U-B. Wait, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, you've pissed yourself, you bloody idiot. 2 weeks ago, I was cursed by a witch. A curse which can only be broken if I cover 100 hobby scandals. Arbitrary, I know.
What the fuck?
Hey, do you want to make more money or less money?
Tragically, 3 people also died. One from heat stroke, one from a cocktail of obesity and hypothermia, and the final one from having a brief romantic fling with a speeding car while walking home from the concert. Incel communities. Who would have thought that a hobby that involves sitting inside and sniffing your unwashed testes for sustenance would be comprised of dudes who can't get laid? The fuck you looking at me for? And stretch it into 6 inches like my fucking big fucking stupid
Or you can throw magic dust, throw fentanyl at a US policeman.
Oh, you'll want to deprogram, alright? Deprogram your TV so you don't have to look at this shitty game anymore.
In mid-2021, Final Fantasy XIV data miners excavated references to an emote that read /eat pizza, which worryingly implies that Italians exist within the world of Eorzea.
Gamer subs! It's not piss! How do those furries keep that tail so realistically attached to their backs? Oh. Hey, get this off the fucking screen, man! Being diagnosed with a new major ailment every few years before being unceremoniously obliterated in a nuclear blast. 30 years later, and the video game industry is bigger than the NFL and Hitler combined, bro. That's insane.
The artists, writers, and other creative folk on your payroll. It's only so long before one of them slips up and draws clan members on a card and... Oh, that only took a year to happen. Was it simply a perfect storm of misfortune? Or does the old adage ring true once again? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become not as good as you used to be. Magic Spoon is like eating 10 slices of ham with milk. Except you don't have to eat 10 slices of ham with milk. What's up, game fuckers? Love Manykudos and hate money? Consider showing off both these alpha traits by joining my Patreon and getting videos 2 days early, 2 days late, or whatever, extended videos with all the foreskin jokes that don't make the cut, and commentary where I talk over my stupid videos and make them even more obnoxious. Oh, these ISIS fellas are pretty intense, eh? Production staff were frantically running round like ants working for a coked up queen, and one guy was probably on a Segway because that seems like something one of those Hollywood douchebags would do. The gamers, jammers, and racial slur spammers whose lust for pants drives them to commit acts of digital terror against their fellow gamers. They have insulted us in the greatest form possible. Full-scale war.
Oh no, sir, watch out. Oh, he's got his AirPods.
Warframe is a cooperative free-to-play online action game available on PC, Xbox Series X, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Samsung Microwave. With this massive 78% saving, I was finally able to afford this giant deadly laser.
You'll never get away with this. You'll never be able to access streaming services like Netflix and Hulu outside of the USA.
Oops. Oh, how wrong you are, Mr. Blonde. Throwing off your hacker was a nice bonus, but private internet access allows me to finally access all of my favorite TV shows on Canadian Netflix. Oh, Jesse, I think we need to cook meth, eh? Oh yeah, this is the good stuff. And the 6 to 8 minute Pan Am gawking segments, gamers had finally risen up, and the devil shivered as a dozen nice guys and girls lost their patience. In July of 2022, customers of an Exxon gas station in Missouri City, Texas looked to the skies and were greeted not with a bird or a plane, but a billboard. This metallic middle finger darkened the skies above, an affront to God and man, announcing to the world, Rain Nightclub presents Summer Bash. Oh, and if you don't know what Gamergate is, yeah, you're not missing much. For the longest time, ads were ads. They sat in their corner where they fucking belong. The unique selling point of the Pulse, besides a Secret Santa gift for someone that you hate, splicing is the act of using editing software to cut together a compilation of all of your best runs. Sort of like how I cut together all the takes where I don't leak out of one of my many orifices. Ah shit. Despite sounding like an app for ghosts to post pictures of their boobies, McDonald's UK, meet me at McDonald's, Barber, say no more, fam. Meet me at McDonald's, Barber's, meet me at McDonald's, Barber, say no more, fam. Meet me at McDonald's, say no more, fam. Say no more. Matty was hired as a Pepsi consultant, a job title less dignified than human trafficker. Your phone is such a small, stupid cube. So how do they fit over 500 freaking epic champions in there? I hope they have plenty to eat and drink. And thus, his emo origin story had begun. Get ready to rumble, tumble. Oh.
War is not good.
Welcome back to Mini Scandals. This is the story of Jed Sanderson. Stay tuned to find out whether or not this bold statement holds up. With the Nintendo Entertainment System, an iconic piece of hardware that gave birth to many of Nintendo's beloved franchises that are still going to this day. I'm talking Zelda, I'm talking Mario, I'm talking Aussie Rules Footy. You know you're a part of some sick shit when even Games Workshop doesn't want your money. Ever since Skyrim made me fail all of my exams in my last year of high school, which was not my fault, by the way, I've wanted to get even with old Todd. And let's not forget about those poor, lonely, single MILFs in your area. Not many people know this, but the medieval fantasy setting of Dungeons & Dragons was actually based on the medieval fantasy setting that people were living in the 1980s. Which is like taking financial advice from a toothless crack addict who's fallen asleep in a bush.
Rockstar Games' flagship product is a media titan, with the latest game in the series, Grand Theft Auto 5, estimated to be the most profitable entertainment product of all time, beating the likes of Star Wars, Minecraft, and Shrek Super Party.
Say, what's your opinion on this? Bowser from the Mario Kart 8 trailer?
Derek initially filmed 3 short films. Cool Cat finds a gun, Cool Cat stops bullying, and Cool Cat runs over a vagrant on a quiet country road at 3 AM and isn't sure if he should go back and help or just keep driving.
He's like the Smash equivalent of the first guy who discovered Missionary, or the first Redditor who discovered being a huge cunt for no reason. Barbie taps into the female power fantasy of being able to look down on tiny miniaturized versions of people you know, and the older brother power fantasy of pulling someone's head off. Yes, going fast in block game. Given that Minecraft is the sandbox game, it should come as no surprise that the speedrunning. This toy is now the hottest pedophile item this summer season, with their Dungeon Master, Matt Mercer, considered the gold standard that Dungeon Masters the world over are forever trying to suckle at the storytelling teeter. Means the Allies were also woke kings when they bullied Hitler into painting his final piece using chunks of his brain matter. Stay a while and listen, as I tell you a tale, one held between the high heavens, known as Blizzard Entertainment when they make good games, and the burning hells, known as Blizzard Entertainment the rest of the time, and Magus Imperialis Magicus, which is apparently Latin for, I don't know, I don't speak Latin. Hello, I'm Doug Penis. 6 Minutes is sponsored by Raycon and new Crystal Meth Pepsi. What's up, you little Star Wars cuck? And there is still a small cash reward for any information that leads to its whereabouts. And the Ryan's envoy was jumped and killed in a McDonald's parking lot. The revenue from these ads goes towards your chosen charity. And you can pick everything from helping shelter cats to removing all of the rubbish from the sea and putting it where it belongs. Florida. Remember Pearl Harbor? Online games are serious business. To clarify, I have had sex, so that may be influencing my point of view. Oh, hello friend. Welcome to hell. I was just... Sorry, this takes a while. I was just checking on the stove. So how'd you manage to get down here, huh? Died of old age surrounded by your loved ones? Pfft, as if. As part of our new onboarding process, you'll start out as a paid intern for a brand's social media. Sorry, when I say paid, I mean you paid us. One spicy compadre had a Jeremy Neutron brain blast. Zone. Except the developers of Final Fantasy fucked up by making every character hot. He does not look like a Burger King at all. Boy, do I have a story for you. One time my mum tried to take away my copy of Rayman Legends for the Nintendo Switch after I had allegedly forgotten to take out the trash or have a shower, which total BS if you ask me. So, to stop her, I tried to swallow it, but the taste was so foul that I coughed and started choking on it. My stepdad had to come in and do the Heineken maneuver just to get the damn thing out of me. England has its football riots. America has people performing WWE moves over a new toaster oven on Black Friday. But how do you get the normally orderly and respectful Japanese people to kick up a fuss? Why, you withhold a children's card game from them, of course. And G.I. Joe Mama, if there's one thing I've learned from studying the veritable wankery of these startup projects, it's that, above all, you must strive to have a sudden and unsatisfying conclusion to your story.